Hey, hi, Sneh. Welcome to Grow with Expert series powered by Techjockey.com. And thanks a lot for your valuable time. So, how's the day going, Sneh?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Aditya. It's been a pleasure being on the show.
Oh, same here. Likewise. Why don't you introduce about yourself? From where are you coming from? What are you up to these days? What you do, and a little about your background.
Sure. I'm currently a senior product manager at Bling Labs, and we are a loyalty rewards platform for the Indian market. And my core responsibilities include, product ownership and driving the entire execution of product. I also closely work with stakeholders, leadership team, and I ensure every aspect of the product is great for our users, our partners, and pretty much everything around that. So my workplace revolves around that, and apart from that, I run communities in India here in my city as well. So I'm a community organizer, and apart from that, I myself am a podcast co-host for the podcast named Ninja Talks, and we talk about experts from various domains sharing their views and opinions on different topics. So yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
Okay, awesome. Looks like sounds pretty interesting. I really appreciate if someone is doing like these kind of things, and in the process, what happens is you learn so many things, right? And you get to know and explore new things, new innovation, you would say, or also learning from other people in order to use those things in your own small minor projects or some kind of ideas that you can get. That's what I
Absolutely.
mean.
Yeah.
Cool. So today we're gonna discuss more about a topic like how data visualization can help make better business decision. Right. So this is
Yeah.
today's topic, and I would say very interesting topic. So in terms of data visualization, something that we're today the world is all about data. We are having so much of data in terms of metric, in terms of dimensions, right? But it becomes difficult for someone in order to understand and to look at all the numbers. And as I can see that you are also working in a startup and I'm also a part of startup now, where we need to move very fast, right? And in order to understand a lot of data, right, you need to be just like just you see that and you get it. Okay, where is the problem statement? What happened, right? See the pattern
Yeah.
and just like that. Right. So why don't
Absolutely.
you like to start? Why don't you help us with like what is data visualization? Right.
Sure.
So like
So
and how data visualization is important for let's say driving sustainable change, right? And or to make very like important business decisions.
sure. So starting with data visualization, particularly, apart from my technology background, I've closely been associated with human psychology, product design, and stuff like that. So few things that I've learned over the time, which are very crucial for humans and human mind, particularly to understand is be it data, be it numbers, be it anything printed, what really our mind perceives is the visualization. And if I tell you to think about an apple, you'll not note it down as a word, but you'll imagine a red or a green or some kind of an apple, right? That's a visualization that you bring up. If I talk about nature, you'll think of a scenic view. That's your mind visualizing something rather than putting it into words, digits, anything of that sort, right? So even if you read a book, even if you read a report, data, anything like that, what your mind thinks is a visualization. Your mind creates or depicts pictures or static visualizations around that, and that's how humans think fundamentally. So this is something very important to understand before we dive into this domain. Is this has so much relevance for the domain, and you can harness the beauty and power of it. So particularly any data that flows in for any organization, any startup, or any level of enterprise, it's crucial because it's coming from their uh, end users, customers, partners, business dealing, anything of that sort, right? And how you utilize that data becomes the most crucial, probably one of the crucial elements to sustainably run your business, right? And for that, you need to understand that data. So that's where data visualization comes into place. If I give you a sheet of, let's say, 100 pages filled with data, tables, and stuff like that, you're gonna get bored, right? You're not gonna do really well. Maybe you'll be able to complete it probably in 4x more time of your task. But if I give you a visualized data, okay, these are the pie charts, this is the comparison, these are the bar graphs, this is how we perform, you're gonna make your way through it, right? That's the power of data visualization, and that's why it's so important. So having understood data visualizations, it's the essence of it is it communicates an idea and it gives you a picture around on the idea that you are focusing on. So why do we do that, or why do we use data visualization? Fundamentally, in my opinion, to drive certain action, because you are looking at a data or a data visualization to make a decision or drive an action or to do something out of it, right? You derive something out of it and then you do certain action. That's the whole crux of it. So how does this whole thing drive sustainable change for corporates, organizations of any sort? I believe a very good example of this would be, zooming out a bit from technology domain and looking towards the real world around us. If you look at, smart buildings, if you look at big construction buildings, bridges and stuff like that, what you will identify is they last long for at least over a decade or multiple decades. So that's something, if you are building, you cannot have assumptions or you cannot have randomized data to achieve that sort of a thing. You need precise data, you need precise calculations, you need precision based results, and many more things. So these domains, particularly, just for this example, make heavy use of data visualization. So if I have to tell you how the foundations are laid for a building or for a bridge or anything like that, they'll not talk about, okay, you have to draw a line 3 meters away from here. They'll give you a floor plan or they'll give you a construction plan. That's how you visualize how this monument is gonna be created, right? And that gives a solid idea to the engineers or the building team of how this thing works and what do we do or how do we get there. So it really helps you build not only an understanding, but it helps you take a decision or action, and that's the essence of data visualization. So if you are building anything sustainable or anything of that sort in any domain, what I feel is the quality of data, the data that is coming in, how you process that data, and what decisions you take on the basis of that decides the growth or future or sustainability for any product, service, or any creation of that sort. And that's how it is.
Exactly. Yes. Rightly said. I must agree. Just like a picture speaks thousand words, right? And you know, we have a tendency. All the human have a tendency to recall an image, right? Okay, I saw the image, right?
Yeah.
So how the brain works, right? So as you have mentioned, yes, data visualization, like translating all information into visual context, right? I would say. So so yeah, what you have mentioned, I must agree. And also, if I want to give you give you an example, like like if so when you are dealing with n number of metric, right? And when, and with respect to time period, right? And if I go deep, let's say hour, right? At what hour also, which is a function of day, then which is a function of month, right? And you need to see, look at the entire thing at one time, right? Then you cannot see just numbers, right? You
Yeah.
need to see where is the pattern, and in order to identify, right? Oh, okay, what has happened before? Why there is a peak, or why there is like, okay, there is a sudden degrowth, right? From there, it becomes very easy to understand, okay, what might have happened there, okay, okay, this could be the possible reason. So, understanding the pattern, that's what, like as you have also clearly mentioned that. So, that becomes important for different teams to take a decision very in a faster way, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And it also become easier for teams who are not at that level, let's say, of expertise to understand the data just by seeing different graph. So maybe a
Right.
person is there who is in sales team or very junior team, right? And if you throw a n number of number and metric to him or her, right, he might take time in order to understand that. But if you show, okay, this is what happened, he might understand it in a very faster way,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So you are also working in Bling. What does Bling do?
So particularly Bling is a loyalty rewards platform. So what we essentially do is we give exclusive trial products to our customers to try from popular brands for their royalty. And what it essentially returns to the brands is the loyalty of the products or the customers, feedback loops, and many more things that helps. So ultimate goal is the customers get to try exclusive products, an exclusive experience as a club, as well as the brands get the feedback before they actually launch in the market. And that's really crucial for both the parties.
Okay. Sounds pretty cool. Okay. Before going to the second part where we gonna discuss, right, day to day life, how we are uh, using data visualization, what tools we are using. Let's connect more about uh, like at Blink, right? So how many people are actually making use of data visualization? Is there any specific team who is doing data visualization for you, or everyone are doing depending on the use case, depending on uh, the objective of the company? Like how team is all the entire people who are working at Blink are using data visualization.
So what essentially happen is all our decisions, all our features, all our improvements, everything is backed by solid data, even at such an early stage. And what I would like to add here is our decisions are made including multiple teams, not just let's say data or some specific team. Our technology team, our user experience team also gets to know what's happening with the user. Our leadership also gets to know this is how the user is behaving. Our person who is taking care of logistics also understands, this is how user is expecting the product to be. So that way people are aware, and that is how they are able to curate better and better experiences for our end users. So it becomes really essential. And while I am saying this, what I've realized working with different organizations and dealing with other people in the industry, different sets or different categories of organizations and enterprises have different strategies for their data management and stuff like that. Uh, but what really works, I wouldn't define it for them. I would define it for ourselves. What works for us is while we have a central repository for our data to be managed. We also have our curated data output flows for our internal teams. So whatever they would ask, they should be able to get, because then only they'll be able to build the relationships between the data that they want to understand and make better decisions. So we cannot bind them in a specific order or a box that okay, this is only what you're gonna get. You get what you ask. That's our data strategy internally, and that really helps us understand tiniest detail of how our app is working. And
Okay,
again,
okay.
it's to add to that again, it's something important that we do not only do it because something happened this way or some actions were taken by the user this way or the user flows or the data points were this way, but we actually ask ourselves certain questions. The data that we are collecting or the data that we have exported, is it helping us identify something that we were unable to identify earlier? Is it helping us improve something? Then that's extremely crucial data point. Are we able to derive something, or let's say are we
Okay.
declaring something that this is happening, or are we just trying to understand what is happening, right? So
Okay.
yeah,
To add on your point, I must say, so see, what happens is, right. So we all have a tendency to directly to jump on us on the solution part,
yeah,
right? So what is the solution? Rather than understanding the right problem statement, what is the problem statement, right? And why the problem statement,
yes,
right? So it is very crucial to crack and to identify the right problem statement. Even if you have identified 10 problem statement, right? What problem should I solve for? Now, in order to understand problem, there are I must say there are four things that I do. Number one, of course, to see the data, right? What is the data we like? What is the past data? How the data is performing, and everything around the data, more towards the textual, like numeric data, I would say. Second part is
right,
the data visualization part, right, where you visualize different things in terms of heat maps, in terms of the map movements, mouse movement, I would say, like where the mouse is moving or the direction. All these are something which is recently coming, right? All the new advanced technologies in terms for data visualization that companies are coming up with.
right,
Third part is more towards understanding user behavior by taking feedback, right? So you do surveys, you call people, you understand what they do, you call them to our office, then you understand what is. And fourth part is the intuition or the veto power,
right,
right? So when you combine all these four things, then you identify the problem statement. Okay, this is the problem that I need to crack in terms of,
mm,
like, keeping in mind what is the impact it gonna bring, and what in terms of, like, keeping in mind the money, the bandwidth, the resource availability, like that. Now here data vision is plays a super critical role. To
yeah.
let's move to the second part of our discussion. Like, what tools do you use for data visualization, and
We
which tool do you like the most?
we actually make use of standard tools that we release our apps on. That is like logging mechanisms, Sentry, and server logs and stuff like that for our servers. We also have performance insights enabled. So our cloud stack is on AWS. So lot of data visualization on CloudWatch and stuff like that. Apart from that, for our user behavior understanding, user journeys and stuff like that, we have Firebase integrated for both Android and iOS apps, as well as we make use of Engage and other third-party tools to capture what's actually happening on the front end side. So while we gather all of that data, bring back in the house, and then we analyze something, we get to understand what's happening.
Okay. So any central tool, or by which you visualize all these things. So these are different tools your company and you might be using. Any central tool like maybe Tableau, Power BI, or Google Data Studio, or any of these tools where all these things that you have mentioned are interconnected, and at one platform you are able to visualize all those things. Any kind of tool that out of these which I have mentioned, are you using any?
Yes, we actually make use of Google Analytics as well as Google Data Studio to map all of this because our analytics stack heavily relies on that particular thing. But again, my point to identify each one of them was to understand the separate sources also equally matter.
Okay, okay, okay. To add on, so what we use is we use Microsoft Power BI, right?
Okay,
So there are three tools. Mostly, the company what they use is Tableau, right? So I have used Tableau before, right? Then Microsoft's Power BI. So these are the two top, you can say, tools which are mostly used for data visualization, right?
correct.
Now these tools are also easy to use, right? And you can learn it. You can learn it, but it all involve licensing, right? If you want to use, you want to buy license, and uh, how you are gonna connect with different data source, all those connectors are there, right?
Right.
And where your company's data is getting stored, is it like MongoDB, right? Or where is the storage, right, from where you are bringing the data? So that is one of an important thing. And these tools basically helps to make things easy by uh, giving just providing a one platform by which you can integrate different third party tools. So for example, if I'm
Right.
using Google Analytics, I'm using Facebook, I'm using LinkedIn as a tool, right, in order to generate leads, let's say. Or if I'm using Google AdWords, right, by using one tool you can integrate different sources, right, where you're
Correct.
getting capturing the data, and at one platform you can visualize things. Now Google
Right.
comes with a free tool called Google Data Studio, as I have mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So Google started with Google Fusion before. So Google Fusion was a tool that they have stopped in 2019 December, and after that they have launched Google Data Studio. Now as of
Correct.
now, Google Data Studio is free tool, so anyone can come and just created an account and use Google Data Studio free of cost. Right.
Right.
Now, this is something just, to add on, this is Google Data Studio is going to, according to me, is a tool which is, right, which is going to boom a lot in terms of, adoption and how
Yeah.
easy it is in order to use a tool. So if I would say, if I'm making a dashboard on Tableau, it is going to take, let's say, 30 minutes. But if I use Google Data Studio, I can create it like within like maybe 10-15 minutes, because how the simple the process is,
Yeah.
right? So here we use Google Data Studio and Microsoft's Power BI, right? So this is what we do. So let's talk to the second part of data visualization, when we visualize in terms of, let's say, heat maps,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
to understand, I can, if something is happening on my screen, or something happening on my, let's say, app screen I was talking about, or website, right, I can clearly see where users are engaging more, and I can
Yeah.
have the movements, right? So what, where they are doing. Now if we see a data, right, what, or let's say I'm only able to see numeric data, right?
Right.
But if I go on screen and I see, okay, this is the place, right, where maximum movement is happening, I can see, okay, this is a section I should place more engaging elements from where user can interact and buy something, right? So
Right.
this is something that many companies are coming up with, like heat map tools, right, mouse movement tools, right? So do you
Yes.
do you use any of those tools?
Yes, we use heat maps extensively throughout our apps, and it really helps understand how users behave, where are they getting stuck, where what screens need
Okay.
improvement and stuff like that.
Okay. So yeah, so few tools I would say that we use is like Wingify's VWO,
Yeah.
InspectLed, Crazier. So these are the tools that like we use, and I have used in past also, which gives you clearly entire
Right.
mouse movements, what they are doing, the heat
Mhm.
maps where they are making the most, right? And you can
Yeah.
clearly identify and clearly visualize, right, what exactly users are doing, right, on the
Users are
website
like,
itself,
yes,
along
correct,
with the insights that you get from Google Analytics and Mo Engage and other tools, that becomes like a repository of all the insights, right?
correct,
And then makes your help to take a better decision.
right.
Right. Cool. So, any strategies that Bling uses for better to achieve, let's say, better metric that Bling is achieving, keeping in mind data visualization. Any kind of
Sure.
strategies that Bling is already in taking, or something which is already there in plan, right? So that they make better decision making, right? Either where
Yeah.
data visualization is in picture or not. So how what are your thoughts?
So since I'll give you an example. Since our product is only focused to working professionals, what we essentially do is we validate their professional and corporate emails, and we currently do not allow normal user signups via, let's say, Gmail, Ymail, and stuff like that. So that becomes a huge bottleneck for whoever is entering our atmosphere or space, right? And we need to solve that problem to, let's say, 100% of accuracy for the users, because then we're targeting a very specific group of users, correct? So over the releases, over the years, what we have realized is, one, understanding that behavior, understanding that data for that entire process is so crucial. It's like the deal breaker whether the user will use the app or uninstall the app. And for that, what we do is we not only collect, let's say, heat maps or data points or user journeys, but we also collect a lot of data post successful sign up, even during successful sign up, and even before that. So our metrics is ensure that our strategy is all evolving around users, as you would agree, but our strategy also includes how it would benefit us as well as the brands who are partnering with us. So what we essentially do is we start any of the sprints or any of the sessions for next releases by asking the questions like, what do we want to achieve this time, what do we want to solve this time, because then only we'll be able to define what are the crucial problems on priority, which one are we taking up, and we go on from there. So then comes our environmentally conscious customers who have already given us a lot of data, who are in the system, or our internal team member who are constantly testing and identifying new elements. Also, apart from that, we have solid feedback loops within our app. So, suppose you're ordering and shipping products that you're gonna try. We'll collect a lot of feedback in various means through communication channels from within the app and stuff like that. And what we've identified in our previous releases and what really works is not only having the analytics or data to be collected or visualized particularly, but once the user performs an action or their journey is completed, they also need to have a feedback loop that they can submit us. So we have solid alerting mechanism across our product platform, regardless of user is reporting that or not. So we ensure our data visualization is helping us identify those patterns, as well as our alerting mechanisms tell us what may or what is going wrong, and we can fix that at the earliest so users do not feel left out. Apart from that, we definitely try to understand user persona psychology, but even more importantly, we measure the frequencies of user behaviors. We have solid data matrices and visualization around how frequently the users are interacting with our app, our services, products that we offer, and stuff like that. So, what we are going to build around this is kind of a platform where this entire data can be leveraged by our own product. Users can make benefit out of it. Like you are a user. So let's suppose you are a user and your purchase behavior is recorded by us. So what we are going to do is we are going to recommend the products, offers, exclusive elements that would be relevant to you and you only. So that's like an entire recommendation engine that we're building, and that rewards not only the users but the brands as well, because then their sales go up and user is also happy. So that's a huge part of our data visualization process as well, because we try to identify where we need to improve in terms of what users are behaving.
Okay, okay, quite proactive. You and your team are, if I would say, like whatever you have mentioned in terms of
Yeah,
right implementing strategies and working on something proactively keeping in mind all the edge cases, I would say. Okay,
yeah,
so I'm with this because this might be possible right in future, and that's why that I really like this concept. Thanks a lot. So just a last question I have before ending today's session. So data versus intuition, right? Sometimes people have intuition, right? Ki I have an intuition that this will work like this, right? You might have that thing also, right? I think like this will work, right? But that's an intuition. And then there is data. Now I want to make a decision on a basis of data or on a basis of intuition. Sometimes it also happens that you have the data, but data is telling something different other than what your intuition is telling. That is one
yeah.
case. Another one is you don't have the data, then you have your intuition, right? These are the two different scenarios. Then how you and Bling make decision in these things.
Okay. Understood. So, yeah, this is again a human psychological element, is I would say, because intuition is something that gets developed in your gut, and then you try to act accordingly, or you try to make sense out of it and act upon it. Uh, what we have realized is, and this is also my personal experience working with a fleet of products. When we talk about giving something to someone else to use, we often kind of romanticize the idea that, this is what they are gonna love, this is what they are gonna use, because I am loving it. That's like my opinion imposed or superimposed on theirs, and that might be or might not be true at all. And that's where the intuition fades. So, a very good exercise that we do is we understand that intuition cannot be outcasted 100%, but then it can be leveraged as a supportive mechanism to it. So, intuition can provide a bunch of, you
I
know,
just lost you. Hello.
yeah. Are you
Yeah.
audible? Am I audible?
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, so
I think I
what
just
really
lost
happens?
you. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll just repeat this. What really happens is, while intuition can give you a basic sense of, this might happen, or these are the scenarios, or these are the edge cases, it's a good point to start, but it's not everything. So we definitely back ourselves, our thoughts, our decisions, everything with data and data visualization, matrices, everything possible to ensure what we are thinking is correct. And even if what we are thinking is not correct, we would try to rectify what's the problem the user is facing. And that's where intuition becomes a supportive element rather than an enemy.
Okay. 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 That is something I really liked about what you have mentioned, and something that I liked. I had a very different kind of opinion, but yeah, not different, but yeah, something that okay, I'll be
Yeah.
using that and
Yes,
okay,
because
cool. So
uh, because what happens is, no matter what amount of data or visualizations you have, it's also about how well do you understand that data, because then only you will be able to make better and better decisions with. your evolution, right?
Okay.
Uh, and that's where also where intuition plays an important role. So you cannot outright say that intuition is not at all in the place. It works as a supportive element, but you cannot make a decision out of it. You need to back it up with
Yeah.
something.
What I believe is, let's say when you have data, right? So always go with the data, whatever your intuition says, right? But whenever
Absolutely,
you
yes.
don't have the data, right? So try try to implement, right, go with the intuition. But in both the place, what I do is I try to do a lot of AB experiments in order to, right, prove my hypothesis either wrong or correct, right, whatever it
Yeah,
is, right. So that's what I do. I always do AB testing in these things. And so yeah, that's what I do. Cool. With this, this I would like to end this session. And to be honest, I really like interacting with you. And something that I learned today about data visualization. We talked about like what is data visualization, how important it is for a firm, right, in order to make right decisions, right. We understand how important is to identify problem statement and where data visualization
yeah,
can play a very big role. Then we discuss the tools that we can use in order to visualize data. And we also discuss the new technologies that is there, like tools like heat maps, mouse movements, all the tools for visualizing these things. And then followed by what strategies that Blinn has already taken and is currently in process in order to make better decision making, keeping in mind data visualization.
sure.
So yeah, I really liked interacting, and I hope that you had a great time as well.
Sure, I
So
really did. I really did. I had a great time and I enjoyed the conversation. Even your perspectives brought a lot of good things, and yeah, it's great.
cool. It was a pleasure having you, Sneh, to our session Grow with Experts powered by techjockey.com. So thanks a lot for coming and your valuable time.
Yeah,
And yeah, with that, I just end the session. Have a great day ahead and all the best to you and Bing. All right. Cool.
yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.